Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's June 16th. Today is a longer video because I'm going to be explaining a very cool feature, which I think is very handy and surprisingly, a lot of people don't know about it, which has to do with the idea of changing standard text in the system, right? There's a lot of places, and there's a lot of text in the system. And depending on the type of artifact that you're looking at, you can modify the text. I still haven't found a place in which you cannot change the text. You can always change text, or at least that has been my experience, okay? It's been an absolutely terrible week, by the way, so I don't necessarily have the energy I typically have, but in a way, this relaxes me touching the system. So let me share my screen here and share what this whole thing is about. Okay, let me explain a little bit how this thing works. So like I mentioned, we oftentimes are going to have the need to change text, okay? Whether it's because you want to drive processes, make it more intuitive, cultural aspects, so on and so forth. And there are different ways to go about it, okay? Now, so some of them, you know, like if you're changing a tile, right, you just go to the configuration where the tile comes about, if it's a custom one, or if you're looking with working with templates, what's a template, right? Like a document, so performance templates, job requisitions, etc. You can change them typically at the XML level or configuration, right? If it's an object, probably in the object, you can modify the labels, etc. However, you're going to find text, right, that is a standard to the application that you really can't easily change. I'm going to show you a trick on how you can identify that text and how to change it, okay? This is something that is called, or I guess historically, I don't know how it's called today, right? Things typically change names in this ecosystem for whatever reason, but used to be called three-tier language, okay? Three-tier language. And let me explain to you how this looks like. So let's say, for example, I want to change one like presentations. Okay, I don't want to call it presentations. I want to call it I don't know, something else. All right, or we'll pick something here. The point of it is that this is tool here called text replacement, right? Which I think a lot of people know. But what you see here, and by the way, just like the term describes it, right? It allows you to replace text in the system. So let's say if you competencies, you don't call them competencies, you call them skills or behaviors. Don't react to that because that's a whole different conversation, okay? But you can do that sort of like globally, right? So in this case, competencies, I'm calling them skills, so on and so forth, right? Subject, right? In many places in the application, employees are called subjects. If you don't like subjects, what's this, like subjects comment, subjects rating, you can change that, right? By using here text replace. Manager versus supervisor, so you get the idea. This list though, goals versus objectives and such, it is limited, right? Like it doesn't really have every single tag in the system, right? And let's see if we have here presentations. Okay, we don't have presentations. That's how I spell it. Yeah, presentations. We don't have it, right? So if I have the need to change the name of presentations, where would I do that? Okay, here's where it gets interesting. Let me show you. Three-tiered language, right? In a way, you're creating, the simplest way to think about this is that you're creating a custom language pack for your organization, right? So you have your standard language pack, typically is English, right? Then you have your translated versions, that's the second tier. And then the third tier will be your own language, right? When I say own, right, your organizational language. So let's get to the point. How would I identify that? First of all, you are going to go ahead and enable, you're going to go to a transaction called manage language. This historically has been in provisioning. A few years ago, it was moved to admin center. So now every client yourself should be able to do this without paying anybody. Don't pay anybody to do this because you can do it yourself. It's very easy. And you're going to, by the way, if you don't have access to this transaction, it's RBP. You have to just grant authorization to yourself. Then you're going to enable a language called English debug. Okay. And how do you enable it? You simply check the box and then save. That's it. You're not going to break anything. Okay. You're enabling and disabling languages here won't break anything. All right. All right. Once you have that enabled, then you're going to navigate here on top to your name and then settings. And we're essentially going to change our language to that English debug. Okay. As soon as I save, what's going to happen, the screen is going to change, and we're going to see like for in simple terms, right? We're going to see the name of the keys, right? The field IDs, if you will, right? Or any text that is a standard to the application. For example, if I see here manage pending requests, this probably means that it's a custom tile, or it's not a standard, therefore I should be able to modify somewhere else, right? My tile here, same thing. This is driven in this case by the status within the form, or I guess, sorry, in this case is goals, right? So can't change it. However, here I can see that presentations, this is my key here, common talent review. Okay. And by the way, once you do that, you can go anywhere within the presentation, within the application. And you get to see every custom or every standard label throughout it. If you see the key here, it means that you can change it, by the way. All right. In multiple languages too. So like if someone tells you, oh, you can't really modify that text. No, again, I still haven't found a single place in the system in which you cannot change the text. Look, even here in the support, right? This tag here, which I doubt anybody really uses, you can change the name of it. If you don't want to call it support and want to call it more like KBAs or something, you can just grab this key here. Okay, but let me show you how this works, because it's very easy. I'm going to go ahead and make a note of my tile here. So we're changing presentation. Okay. So may I just open Notepad or something, just so I can make a note. Come on. Okay, I'm doing my other screen. So this is called Common Talent Review tab. Interesting. Okay. So as you can see here, I just wrote down the name of the tab. Okay. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back here to manage language. Oh, okay. Well, now that I got my tab, okay, let me just switch back to regular English because for obvious reasons, it's easier to navigate. So I go to my avatar, change language, English, save, or switch. And this does the trick. All right. By the way, in some places you might still see the tag. If you just log out and log back in, it'll go back to normal. Okay. So I'm gonna go to here to manage language. And then I'm gonna go to like, where do I want to introduce my custom language, if you will, my custom language pack. So if you had different translations, you will do it within its own language, right? In this case, I'm playing with English, so I'm going to, I can't expand it because I haven't really created any custom pack just yet. So I'm going to go all the way to the right here, 3 dots, and then I'm gonna say add custom locale. I'm gonna call it English or I guess it's US, no, English, US, Pablo. All right. You can call it whatever, it doesn't really matter, okay? Or I would suggest put your company names, right? But again, it doesn't really matter, it's not gonna drive anything. So notice now that I can expand that, and it tells me, okay, this is sort of like my custom language. So then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see now an option that says download custom labels. So anything that I would have added already in the system, it would display here. In this case, we don't have anything because we haven't really added anything, right? So it's going to be a CSV file, very straightforward, and basically tells me the key, and then that's it, right? So in this case, I'm going to write down the key, okay? And here, we're going to put the name of the original language pack. So in this case is English US. And then I'm going to tell the system how I actually want this to be called. I'm going to say it's Pablo, right? From sort of say, I'm not very creative. All right. So let me save this now. I call it 3-tier demo. And I'm going to go back here to my screen, and then within here underneath, or within the option of my new language pack, when I click the options and then click upload custom labels, 3-tier demo, and let's see if this does the trick. Okay. As soon as I added it, I'm gonna wait a little bit because it's loading. Let's see if it works. If not, we'll try another avenue here, but or I did something wrong. We'll see. It normally doesn't take this long, but I think it's because it's the very first time I'm doing this. I think it's plus it's the SalesDemo. SalesDemos historically are very slow. All right, but let's see. Okay. Okay, it was uploaded successfully. So now let me go back here. Okay, still says presentation, so that suggests it didn't work. So I'm gonna go back here to my language pack, and I'm gonna download my custom labels, and let's see. Okay, something I'm doing wrong here. I'm wondering. Great for a demo, by the way. All right, let's see here. So let me, what if I add this? Okay, let me go back. Upload custom labels. 3-tier demo. This is where I start getting really nervous if it doesn't work because I have no clue. But well, maybe it's a good exercise, right? To see how we would troubleshoot this. It is taking a long time, so I'm wondering if it's just a matter of it not refreshing. Maybe I need to log out and log back in. Typically, that is not needed with this, but let's see here. All right, let me go back. Okay, data. I'm gonna do this, which typically refreshes the cache, just like if you were doing it in a browser. It runs all these jobs behind the scenes, right, to refresh any configuration you might have done. Really handy. Typically, it's like the magic wand. It solves a lot of problems. Okay, this is a topic for a whole different video. Let's take a look at it and see if this does the trick. Otherwise, probably in the thought process, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back, switch my language again. Let's make sure that I copy the label or the tag correctly. I might need to log out, log back in, see if that does the trick. So I think there's a couple of ways that we can handle this. I'm gonna turn the ventilator here. I'm happen to be in Barcelona, in Spain. It's really hot, and I don't have AC here in my apartment, so I gotta use a ventilator or a fan, I guess it's called nowadays, or maybe always. I don't know. Just translating there, bad translation. Okay, let's see. Oh, check this out. It's working now. So maybe I needed to log out and log back in. Again, typically that is not the case, but maybe because I did it the very first time, this is the trick. Why I'm getting that equal sign, I'm not sure. So just to, let me see if I take this out and we're gonna change this back to like demo or something. Just so we can do this again, make sure that we fully understand it. So back to manage language. English, custom, upload custom labels, 3-tier, demo. It's gotta think. Okay, successfully added. No, still showing up with that equal sign. Let me log out and log back in. This is really strange because I don't think I've ever had to log out and log back in. At least my memory, if my memory serves me correctly. But let's see, this is the trick. Otherwise, we know that we have to do the columns. Okay, it changed to now. Okay, so that was a problem. So summary, all right. We don't need the columns here because this is gonna create an equal sign, right? So we just need the name of the tag and then the demo, and then whatever. If for some reason this is asking me to log out and log back in for it to work, and it hasn't been my experience. I don't know if it's a sales demo or what, but at least right? Once you upload it, you get a successful message. Log out, log back in, and then they should see that reflect. And then if I want to put it back, right? I can just remove the tag and upload it like that, or just completely get rid of the language back. So 2 things that are really important, the last thing I'll say. Number 1, every time that you import, let me stop sharing here. Every time that you import a custom language, if you will, it's always like a full purge, if you will, right? So it's always going to only take into consideration what you're uploading. In other words, if you have 5 different custom tags or custom labels, and then you want to add 1 more, if you just upload that 1 more, it's going to override everything else. So you always have to download whatever you have, add the new one, and then import the whole thing back again. Okay, so that's one item. The other thing too is that for whatever reason, I'm back at sharing now. For whatever reason, this is probably the most common problem that I see with this. When you download that file, here on the second column, it's gonna download the the name of the standard name of the custom language that you would have added. So here will be the company ID. I can't spell there, but so you will go on your business and then try to upload, and this is not gonna work. You have to, even though it's a custom language that you're adding, always in column B, you have to have the standard name of the language that you're adding it to, okay? Otherwise, it's gonna give you an error. It won't let you upload it, all right? Okay, that's what I have for today. Look, I'm gonna do one last thing. This is new. I'm borrowing this from another person I follow in terms of videos. If you made it to the end, when I have a magic word today, or keyword, or secret code, I think I like it better. We're gonna call it 3-tier. All right. So if you made it all the way till the end, put in the comments 3-tier. That way I will know that you finish it, which means that I'm gonna pay attention to your name, which means that we're gonna be friends, which means that whenever you have a problem with SuccessFactors, you can call me or text me or send me a message, and I'm probably gonna answer and do my best to help. That's what I have for today. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you next time.